And now, I would request Ms. Seetha Murty, Director Education, Silver Oaks International Schools and Chairperson, HSSC and Vice President, IB Heads, Association of India and South Asia to share her views. Please give a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody on the stage. I was actually hoping that they won't call me. The reason that I was hoping that I have a few disagreements with the previous two speakers, so I thought I don't want to start any conference with disagreements. But I still have to share because that's me. Okay? When Sir was sharing that private schools should consider business model as the bottom of the pyramid, I do wish, of course, it's not about him, it's the government that broadly we have to speak. They don't sell you land at a subsidized rate. They don't make your life easy as private schools. Unfortunately, that word socialist in our preamble makes everything that's private in our country see with a biased eye. That, we are here only to make profit and not to give any quality. 15 years back, there was a professor from University of Newcastle, James Tooley, who wrote a book called Beautiful Tree, in which he talked about why government schools in India, Sri Lanka and China are failed models, and why low-cost private schools in India, particularly in Hyderabad, has done a case study near Charminar area, literally about 400, 500 back, 15 years back, 400 to 500 low-cost private schools were giving more quality education because there was accountability in a private school. Even if a parent pays 50 rupees per month, there was accountability, which they felt was missing in the government schools. If there's a dropout rate in government schools, it's largely because of the lack of accountability. In private schools, a child or a parent will not join in the school if there's no accountability, if there is no progress or development. I'm just taking that as an example here to say most of us are from private school segment, and each one of us know how accountable to every student that we give admission to in our schools, and how everybody looks at us with a very critical eye, particularly the government sector. For everything that we do or don't do, we have so many mandates from the government, no cooperation, no support, but more partisan eye to us. But in this city, I remember when every government takes over, every new government takes over, I have written to the Chief Minister, please call all the principals of the city and ask us what are we doing, how are we serving the student population in this city. But of course, you know how politicians are. They are not interested in us. Ironically, this morning I was reading in the Times of India newspaper that most of the contestants in the current elections are from the educational sector. But I don't like to use the word educational for them because they're all from corporate colleges, from the factory sector, factory models that are there. Why I'm bringing these points into what I'm sharing here is, all the private schools, whether in Hyderabad or in India, are really surviving and working day in and day out for the students who join them, and certainly look at some qualitative improvement in their educational journey. I do wish that India will grow out of this bias against private schools and look at them as partners, not as someone who's here to make money or here to become internationally popular. No, that's not the idea, to give quality education. Regarding values, the second gentleman who spoke, I think India is full of values. The family system is full of values. Who is changing these values? The market-oriented elements here. Everybody says your education is about getting marks. What is celebrated in a newspaper? You turn after any result of any board that comes, what do you see in the newspaper? Who got 99%? Who got 98%? What is celebrated in the country? The percentage is celebrated. So in a scenario like that, even parents get carried away. They feel that it is important for my son or my daughter to get 99%, 98%, get into the competition colleges and JEE, NEET, and then get into the pre-university courses. The market agenda is changing the value system in our country. We need to question that. It's not questioning ourselves. We all grew up in India where family system, values, respecting our parents, our grandparents, respecting women, the number of women goddesses we have in our country, no other country would be having. Okay? But this is an inbuilt, inherent system in our country. I think all what we have to re-look at or reflect is how are we celebrating and what are we celebrating in our country? Are we celebrating marks or are we celebrating values? So these two things. But in every conference, 90% of people who are sitting here are principals from private schools, even though it is summer vacation now. Why are we here? We are here because we still believe that there's something that we can do, something that we can contribute, something that we can improve. And on that note, I'd like to say that our contribution is certainly meaningful, and government only has to look at us as partners and ask us, can you support 5 Zilla Parishad schools or local government schools that are there in your neighborhood? We'll be more than happy. And we, by the way, on our own, government didn't ask us. We've approached all the neighborhood schools saying that we'll do this, we'll do that. They don't want all that. They just wanted some computers from us. They just wanted some sponsorship of financial support. But they didn't want any teacher training. They didn't want anything. So I think the government mandate should be on their own schools that partner with the private school. RTE and all, we take care. We are ethically responsible for it. But we are also morally ready for taking charge of the teacher training in the government schools. And I think government only has to ask us, and we'll be more than happy to do all that. So on that note, I think private schools, we are doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much.